One thing that I have learned this season is how important it is to mind your business. I realized that minding my business is a form of self-care. I have learned that I am very, very nosy. I thought that I minded my business, but I realized that I'm in other people's business. Maybe not in the way people would typically define being in people's business, but I am nosy and in people's business. Let me break this down, okay? So I didn't consider myself nosy because I'm not like gossiping about people or gossiping about the latest celebrity news or gossiping about my coworker. Like, those are things that I don't do. It's very rare. And if I do it, I always feel uncomfortable about it because it's something I just don't do. But I'm nosy in a different way. I'm nosy in the sense that I want to know how people are doing, and I want to know how to fix, or I feel the need to step in and fix their situation, or I feel this like instant response to jump in and help. And I realized in this season that I am nosy, and I had to learn to mind my business, and that minding my business is a form of self-care. And let me tell you what happened that opened the pathways to this breakthrough. I was walking down the street. Actually, I was on this trail, but I was way, 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 way back there by the ocean. I was having a really bad morning, and I was crying and just felt like life was falling apart, which it has been falling apart even more. And I gathered myself and managed to say, hey, you know what? Life is falling apart, but I'm going to go out and get my walk. No matter what happens, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take care of my body. So I started walking, and I saw this gentleman across the street, and he had a stack of papers, and he dropped the papers and they fell all over the place. I immediately responded to how he reacted to the fact that he dropped all these papers. He dropped the papers and he was like, ugh, like he was just so frustrated. He was so angry. And I loudly said, it's okay, it's okay. Because I understood his frustration. I understood his pain because I was having a similar morning. And he said something to me, but it wasn't very friendly. I can't remember exactly what he said, but his body language was just like, shut the up, you know what I mean? Shut up, me, you know what I mean? And I started crying immediately because I already was feeling his pain. Like I could relate. And then it hurt my heart that he didn't understand that someone actually cared, right? That's how I felt at first. But then I sat with it and I said, you know what? That wasn't none of my business. He dropped his papers. He was irritated. I didn't have to say anything. No one told me to say anything. It wasn't my responsibility to say anything. It wasn't my responsibility to fix it. It wasn't my responsibility to make him feel better. It was my responsibility to mind my business. And that's when it clicked. And I started to see a pattern within myself of how I tend to jump in immediately and feel the need to kind of be in people's business. Being nosy. I'm still working on this, but I'm getting better. I'm self-aware, and I feel like that is the first step to change, is actually being aware of what's actually happening. So what's the conclusion to all of this? Why is this story relevant to being an icon? Well, being an icon requires us to take care of ourselves. And part of taking care of ourselves is making sure we're taking care of ourselves first. And removing the shame around that. And that there's no shame around that. And that we honor that. Because in order for us to be truly effective and inspiring and to make change and effective and impactful and profitable and to stand fully in our light and take up a space, we have to properly care for ourselves. and properly caring for ourselves starts by minding our business. Okay, there's trees over here, and you know how I am about trees. And this tree is definitely talking to me. So we gotta hug this tree, okay? Gotta hug this tree. I had that breakthrough. Reality check. I'm Latoya Cooper, your brand strategist, elevating women entrepreneurs into iconic powerhouses that drive big profits. I would love to hear in the comments if you can relate to this story and what you're doing every single day to mind your business and to take better care of yourself so you can step into the iconic version of who you are, take up space, and be great. Love you, superstar.